Beginning, the hero who refused glory. The Battle of Varnaxis Ridge had lasted 16 hours, but to Captain Darius Hale, it felt like being trapped inside a storm that refused to end. The sky burned orange and violet where ion cannons had torn the atmosphere open, and the ground beneath his boots still trembled from the crash of the final enemy cruiser. Millions would later claim he saved the entire frontier. Darius didn't feel like a hero. His armor was cracked, scorched, and caked with the dust of buildings that no longer existed. His breath shook with every inhale. His hands refused to stop trembling. He'd won the battle, but at a cost he would never forget. That night, as the Terran military scrambled to regroup, a powerful delegation arrived on the battlefield, towering crystalline warriors known as the Varkan Dominion. They approached with banners of molten silver and armor that glowed like fractured stars. Their emissary, General Chrysail, stood before Darius. "Captain Hale," the general announced, his voice booming like a resonant drum. "Your actions today prevented a catastrophe for both your people and ours. The Varkan Dominion owes you a debt of honor." Darius tried to shrug. "I only did what had to be done." "Modesty is a Terran quality," Chrysail said. "But so is bravery. And bravery must be rewarded." The general raised a crystalline hand. "You are summoned to our throne world. By decree of the Empress herself, you shall receive the prize of Xyrath, a gift spoken of only in legend. You will accept this honor." There was no refusing such a command without insulting an entire empire. Darius nodded. "I'll go." But as the Varkan delegation departed, a single thought wormed into his mind. What kind of prize requires an imperial decree? And why did the general's eyes hold sorrow instead of pride? Middle. The prize no one expected. Chapter 1. The Throne World of Shattered Light. The Varkan homeworld was a breathtaking nightmare of beauty. Crystal towers rose like frozen lightning bolts, refracting sunlight into 1,000 shimmering colors. The ground vibrated with low hums of energy, pulsing through the planet like a heartbeat. Darius was escorted through a labyrinth of radiant halls into the Hall of Xyrath, where the ceiling seemed to fade into infinity. At the center sat Empress Veilzyra. Her body glimmered like living glass, and her eyes swirled with nebula-like storms. She studied Darius with a strange mixture of admiration and regret. "You have shown valor unmatched," she said. "For that, the Dominion offers you what few have received, the prize of Xyrath." She raised her hand. A hidden doorway opened. Darius tensed. Out stepped a being unlike anything he had ever seen. A humanoid shape composed of shimmering energy, gentle, glowing, ethereal. Their eyes, swirling with starry patterns, met Darius's gaze with equal parts fear and longing. "This," Veilzyra said, "is Lysera, the last surviving member of the Xyrethians, a species capable of harnessing cosmic energy itself." Lysera bowed her glowing head. "Greetings, Captain Hale." Darius blinked, horrified. "You're giving me a person?" "Not a person," the Empress corrected coldly. "A power. A guardian. A companion. A reward for your heroism." Lysera stood silently, silver containment bands glowing around her body. And Darius realized the truth. The Varkan weren't giving him a gift. They were giving him a prisoner. Chapter 2. A prize who wanted freedom. Darius followed the guards who escorted Lysera to a private chamber. The room was luxurious, levitating platforms, floating lights, but Lysera remained bound, unable to touch anything freely. As the guards turned to leave, Darius snapped. "Remove the restraints." "That is impossible," a guard insisted. "She is dangerous." Darius stepped between them and Lysera. "She is alive. And intelligent. She can collapse a star." And you keep her in chains, which makes her desperate. Remove them. The guards glared, but Darius outranked them as the honored guest. They reluctantly deactivated a portion of the restraints, leaving only a minimal containment harness. Lysera watched Darius silently. He knelt to her level. I'm sorry they've done this to you. You show compassion, she whispered. Few have. He studied her glowing form. How long have you been kept like this? 212 years, she said quietly. I was the only one my people did not destroy themselves to keep out of Arkan hands. Darius swallowed the rage building in his chest. What do you want, Lysera? Her eyes widened as though no one had ever asked. I want choice. Darius nodded. Then let's figure out a way to give you that. Lysera's light brightened in a soft, trembling glow, like hope being reborn. Chapter 3. The Empress's Test. The next morning, Empress Veilzyra summoned him again. You question our traditions, she said. You show sympathy for the prize. I show respect, Darius replied. Then a test must be made. The Empress gestured toward a holographic map. A rogue Varkan faction has attacked a neutral colony. Lysera will accompany you into battle. Darius stiffened. Why her? To prove whether she can be trusted with freedom. If she can control her power under pressure, she earns her liberty. And if she can't, the Empress didn't answer. She didn't need to. Lysera's existence hung by a thread. Chapter 4. The Battle for Turnos 4. Turnos 4 burned. The colony's once bustling cities were now fractured by plasma strikes and collapsing infrastructure. Civilians fled in desperation. Smoke blackened the sky. Darius led a strike team through the chaos. Lysera floated beside him, her energy rippling anxiously. You don't have to do this, Darius said over the comms. Yes, she whispered. I do. For my future and for yours. They reached the colony's central defense tower just as a group of heavily armed traitors surrounded it. Darius ducked behind rubble. We need to disable their weapons without taking out civilians. I can help, Lysera said. He hesitated. Only if you're certain. She floated closer, meeting his gaze. I trust myself. Do you trust me? He swallowed. I do. Lysera rose high above the battlefield. Traitor forces fired at her. She absorbed their attacks, refracting the energy harmlessly. Then, with delicate precision, she unleashed concentrated bursts that ripped through weapons, disabling them one by one. Not a single person was harmed. Darius was stunned. She fought with elegance and restraint no machine or soldier could match. But then, a catastrophic alarm blared. The tower's core destabilized. If it exploded, it would tear the colony apart. I can stop the meltdown, Lysera said. But I must enter the reactor core. Darius grabbed her hand. That might destroy you. If I do nothing, thousands will die. She stepped closer, her light trembling. Let me choose, Darius. For once. His throat closed. Slowly, painfully, he let her go. Lysera drifted into the core. A blinding flash of blue. A shockwave rippled through the colony. Then silence. Finally, the lights stabilized. Lysera emerged, faded, flickering, barely holding form. Darius caught her. You're alive. She spoke weakly. I held on because you believed I could. And he knew in that moment, he cared for her far beyond duty, ending the unexpected choice. Back on the Varkan throne world, Lysera stood before the Empress with no restraints and no fear. Veilzyra bowed her head slightly. You have proven your mastery. You are no longer a prize. You are free. Lysera closed her eyes, overwhelmed. Then the Empress turned toward Darius. By ancient custom, the hero who frees the prize may request her companionship if she chooses. Darius held up a hand.
No.
She owes me nothing. Today is about what she wants. Lycera stepped toward him. What I want, she said softly, is freedom by your side. Darius's heart tightened. You're sure? Yes, she whispered, taking his hand. Because you saw me as a person, not a possession. The Empress smiled knowingly. Then let your bond be forged not by tradition but by choice. Darius squeezed Lycera's glowing hand. Then I choose you too. Together, they stepped forward, human and cosmic being, toward a future neither had ever been allowed to imagine. A future built not on reward, or obligation, or power, but on mutual choice. And the galaxy would forever remember. The greatest reward ever offered to a hero was the one he refused, until the prize chose him first.